That's it, all out. That is the all out signal. It's 5 o'clock on day 3 of the Iberian Masters here in Spain. In case you're wondering why I wasn't actually fishing when that went off, that's because I always pick up with about a minute to go, just in case there's a fish on, because you've got to have the fish out of the water. If you leave it any later than that, it's not going to give you a chance to land the fish and get it out of the water. So, day 3 of a very kind of, it's been eventful. That's what I can say to you. Basically, the sun's still shining now. They did forecast it was going to be really sunny today, really hot. But they did forecast that the wind was going to drop as well. Now what's actually happened is, when we were here at the start of the day, if you was watching the live stream on Facebook, the wind was left to right. It wasn't strong, it was a nice breeze, but it was red hot, and so it was keeping the temperature really nice and comfortable. But then the middle part of the match, it's just dropped. It has been flat calm, baking hot. And then in this last hour or so, hour and a half maybe, the wind has suddenly switched around. It started up again, and now it's going right to left. Not that, you know, we think that's had any impact on the fishing, we don't know. But anyway, so how have we got on today? Well, I've got to admit that I didn't get off to a great start. If you watch the Facebook live stream that I did this morning, basically I started across. So I've had a line really close, well, about a metre from that other bank, and I've started on there. So I'll quickly talk you through it, just talk you through how I've actually approached it, you know, without rambling too much for you. I've basically kicked off with a small horizon feeder right the way about a metre from that other bank. Okay, might have been a little bit less. I couldn't go too close because we're having to fish with 50cm hook lengths. So at the pre-baiting, I've actually put 2 across, which is something I haven't done all week. I put 2 across in the pre-baiting period with just sticky mag, and that's it. And I haven't fed anywhere else in the swim. I've had another line that actually worked out at 36 metres. That's been my line that's been a metre from that other bank, 36 metres. I've then had another rod set up slightly to the right at 30 metres. Now I wanted to go to about 32. I wanted to be about 4 metres off that other bank. It did look nice, but when I cast out there with a bomb, it was horrendously rocky. I just couldn't fish it. I lost 2 setups and 2 casts. So I came back 2 metres, and it was lovely, nice and clean and smooth at 30 metres. So that was going to be my second line across there. However, I didn't want to feed it at the start. My intentions were that if I had to go on that line and try it, if the other line wasn't working, then I'd feed it just before I went on it to kind of set it up with sticky mag. Simple as that, really. And then the other line is a line that I didn't really know if I was going to put in or not, and that's a short line here. It's about 8 metres. I haven't seen anyone catch, well, I've seen one person catch on it during the match. I caught a couple on it during practice, but obviously on match conditions it's completely different. But I had that rod set up ready to go just in case I decided during the match I was actually going to fish that line, and as it turned out, I actually did. So basically, the shot time for the start of the match, and I've gone across, and there wasn't any wind then, and with those nice little horizon bullet feeders that we use, I couldn't believe how accurate it could be just by punching it, and so my cast went bang on where the other 2 had gone, the initial feed, and it's literally been out there 10 seconds and it's gone round with a carp. Now we're fishing at 36 metres with mono. As you can imagine, when you're fishing a metre, well, probably less than a metre from snags and things, there's a lot of stretch there, and to be quite honest, as soon as I picked up, it was in a snag. It was still on, you could feel it fighting, it was really pulling and pulling and pulling, and eventually it just kept on going and going and going. It must have almost been like a sawing action, and eventually it's just cut the line off. First cast. I couldn't believe it. You know, I mean, I haven't had a response like that all week, you know, such an instant response. So I was naturally annoyed at losing that fish, but I'd also lost a lot set up as well. So straight away in the first 10 seconds of that cast, I'm 1 rod down already. You can see where this is going, can't you? So I picked the other rod up, which is clipped up at exactly the same range, quickly put a hook length on, went back out there, and it was out there about 2 or 3 minutes, and I had a couple of indications, enough to tell me that there were 1 or 2 fish there. I didn't catch on that cast. So I've come back in, and it was clean. I spent a long time making sure the bottom was clean there so I could fish it. I've gone back out again, and I've had a couple of sharp stabs, and on one of them, just out of reaction, natural instinct, I just picked up and there was nothing there. The bait wasn't touched, no idea what that was all about, but they were obviously showing signs that there was some fish there. And then I've gone across again, and I've hooked another carp, and exactly the same thing's happened. As soon as the feed has hit the bottom, I've gone to put the rod on the rest, and it's gone straight round, and it's straight in a snag. Again, I can feel it, I'm fighting it, I'm trying to pull it and pull it and pull it out. As soon as I picked up and struck into it, it was in whatever there is out there, and exactly the same happened. It just cut through the line, and that was it. So it was 2-0 to the carp. In that period, no one else had even had a bite. So obviously you can imagine I was a little bit annoyed. Hooked 2 carp, 2 down, but I also lost 2 rigs as well. So I'd only got 1 more set up for that line, and I've gone out there and fished it a little bit longer, and I haven't had any more indications. In that period, after that, whilst I was fishing at the first hour, the lad on my right has fished way off that far bank. He's fished about a good probably 4 or 5 metres off that bank, and he's just sat and sat and sat and sat, and he's got one. Could hear his drag going, he's got one, and then by the end of probably the first hour and a quarter, he's ended up with 3. And I don't think they're massive fish, but he's ended up with 3 carp after that initial hour and a half. So what I've done then is I've plugged away on that line. It's not working. I'm really happy with where I've been fishing it. Really tight casting. Everything seemed spot on. I just weren't getting any bites. So then I thought I've got to try that 30-metre line. So I put 1 cage feeder of sticky mag on that line, and just left it about 15 minutes, I think it was, and then I've gone on it. And basically, when I've gone on it, I haven't had a sign. Not a sign at all. And then for about half an hour I thought I need to just slow this down and just try and get something in the net. I'm looking at a blank. In that meantime, whilst I was doing that, Marcus Billen at the next peg and the angler next to him both caught a Carasio, just sitting and waiting patiently. They both got not big fish, but they caught Carasios. They were off the mark. And then the lad 2 to my right, he also got a Carasio. So out of all these pegs here, I was the only one who hadn't caught. So I thought I better slow it down, and that's basically what I've done. I've spent nearly an hour on that line, just slowing it all down, and after a tiny little indication, I suspected the fish was on. I picked up and I've caught a Carasio, so that's avoided the white tape, which is always good. And that was about, I don't know, 2 hours in, and then the middle 2 hours we haven't seen a single fish caught. All the way, as you can see on here, we can see right the way down there, and over to my right you can see right the way up there to the end of the section. In those 2 hours we didn't see a single fish caught. Unbelievable. Then what's happened, I've just rotated lines, just trying to find a fish, and I literally have not had a single indication on either of those 36 or 30-metre lines, mainly with sticky mag. That's what I focused on today. I've had a period of going on to 3-minute casts. I've had even a longer period on 5-minute casts, and then I've also had 10 and 15-minute casts, just trying to mix it up, trying to find a bite. So going into the last hour, 3 carp was winning this bit here. We don't know what's been caught elsewhere, but 3 carp, and that's this lad on my right. Now going into the last hour, I basically thought I've got to change something. My confidence had gone in the long lines, so I put my 8-metre line in, and I basically put in 2 large feeders of sticky mag. So no hemp or corn today, like I've done in previous matches, just sticky mag. And I've set it up and I've left it for, I think that was 20 minutes, I think that one. I've left it 20 minutes, I've gone on it at 8 metres, straight down here, straight in front of me, just there, 8 metres, and it's been in there 5 minutes, and the drag's just screamed off, and I've caught a carp. It's not a big carp, but it is a carp, so I've managed to get a carp off that line. And then, shortly after that, I think it was the next cast, just slowing things down, what I did was I decided to put a bigger feeder on, but leave it in longer. And it kind of worked for another bite. I've had another bite, and it's been going and going, and I picked up, and it's gone straight into a snag. And that's ended up just, snagging all my rig up and everything, and I've ended up losing that fish, which obviously I was a little bit annoyed about. When your rig goes straight into a snag like that, there's nothing more frustrating. And then that's really been it. However, the lad on my right, that first hour and a quarter, whatever it was, he had 3 carp, but then he's caught 2 in the last 2 casts. Literally with about 7 minutes to go. I know he's left it in for ages. I've looked round just as his reel started screaming off, and he's picked up and he's had a carp. He's put it in the net, he's cast back out with 5 minutes to go, whatever it was. Cast out, literally just hit the bottom and gone round again, and he's had another carp. So he's actually ended up on 5 carp now. And just as he netted that last one, the lad next to him on his right, he's hooked and landed one as well, right at the last minute. And then the lad right on the end peg up there, he's had one as well in the last 5 minutes. So that's it. Nothing too exciting to report, unfortunately, but if you might win the section with 5 carp, I don't know. I've hooked the one on the short line, I've hooked 2 across, so I have actually hooked 3 definite carp. I think the fourth one may have been a carp or a big carassio, I don't know, but definitely 3 carp. So, you know, if I'm going to be fishing across there under that bank in future, if I do come again, possibly I might need to look at slightly different rigs or a different line diameter. I don't know. I'm just going to put that out of my mind for now. I'll just be heading back and putting this entry in the match diary, and obviously, you know, this event doesn't take place until next year. So he's ended up on 5 carp with those 2 in the last 8 minutes. The next lad to him's got 1 and at least 2 carassio. Marcus Billen on my left, he literally has not had a sign for the last 3 hours, so he's got 2 carassio. I don't think he's had a sign for the last 3 hours, so he's got 2 carassio. And then the lad to his left has got, I think he's got 2 carassio. So there we go. You know, there's not much else I can really say other than, you know, I have come here today to attack it. I've gone through nearly 2 litres of maggots. I wanted to give the fish a reason to be in front of me over there. If they weren't naturally going to be there around the features that were there, then, you know, I wanted to give them a reason that if they are cruising up and down or whatever they're doing, I just wanted to give them a reason. And, you know, obviously those 2 fish, it would have been nice to land them straight away in the first 15-20 minutes. That would have been a fantastic start. But I haven't had any other indications over there, and it's been clean enough for me to fish as well. So maybe that wasn't the right approach, I don't know. But like I say, throughout that period, nobody else has really caught across there anyway, tight across. So maybe it wasn't the right day for it. So yeah, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rods there, and they're all stripped down. There aren't any rigs on any of those now. They've all been smashed, so it's not going to take me long to break those down. Basically what's going to happen now is I've got to obviously while they're going to come down and weigh in, I'm going to have to get this lot packed away now, but pack it away so that it's ready for transit, and that's because this will be going back in the van with the other 9 lads as tattle, and that'll be getting driven back to England with by Mark Morris and Jamie Minter. I'm assuming it's tomorrow morning they'll be setting off. So yeah, I've got to pack this all away now so that it can go straight in the van, all labelled up and everything. So that shouldn't take me long because all my rods have broke down anyway. So I'm hoping I've not done too bad in the section, but to be fair, you know, I have got a carp, but it's not very big, and you know, there's only a carassio. But at least I've avoided the white tape again for another year, which is always good when you're not doing so well in a competition. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody, seriously, honestly, for all the great wishes, all the great messages. I know there's lots of comments and things, and I can't go through them all right now because I'm obviously here. I'll be heading home tomorrow with Dad. Dad's up there somewhere. There he is. He's been enjoying the sunshine, staying hydrated and in the shade where he can. We're heading back to England tomorrow, where, you know, I've got some other really exciting events coming up. You know, and so obviously this Fishing Live channel will really be the base for a lot of those. When I can't actually film a live match, this is the channel where I can do exactly what I'm doing right now for you, where I haven't got tripods, I haven't got cameras everywhere, I haven't got to take loads of time away from Dad. I can just do it on my phone and upload it from here. It's just my quick and easy way of sharing some of these experiences with you, because, you know, at least it's giving you a taster for what some of these events are like. So thanks again for all the great messages. I will be uploading another video later on tonight. I am going to film the presentation for you, okay? My name won't be getting read out, but I will give you the presentation. I'll upload it right here on this Fishing Life channel for you, so you can see the presentation and you can see who the winners are and everything. Alright, so hopefully you're going to enjoy that, and hopefully you've enjoyed this bit of a taster of what this kind of event is like. I know it's not for everybody, you know, I know it can be very frustrating, but it can be exciting. The camaraderie is amazing. All these anglers from all over Europe, you know, it really brings everybody together, and sometimes, you know, that's what we need in fishing. You know, there's enough things going on in the world, countries fighting against each other, and when you can get all these people here, and a lot of them are strangers, and they treat each other like friends, you know, the camaraderie is brilliant. Everyone's so friendly, and obviously if you're blessed with nice weather as well, then, you know, there are worse places you could be spending a day's fishing. So I'm going to get packed away, get weighed in, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be the full presentation for later on tonight. So please let me know if you like these videos, give it a thumbs up if you do, and please hit subscribe if you want to see some of our other events later on this year. So thanks for watching, and I'll check in with you a little bit later on this evening for the full presentation.